All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's the Friday before Memorial Day. Can you believe it? I know, boy, this year is just flying by, right? How you doing, Andrew? How you doing, David?
Doing well.
Yeah, doing great.
So, David, you've been in now, I'm thinking 2 years now, roughly, plus or minus
Yeah, about 2.5 right now.
two
Yeah,
and a half. The last one we were more, I think, more structured and really talking about your plans and things you were doing. But man, you've had been sticking to it and been pretty diligent. You've actually had a pretty good start to this year, and I know you've had a lot of other things that we're going to get to that you do. You're really passionate about, and then talk about some cool, fun stuff. So, Andrew and I were thinking that maybe today you could maybe just say, okay, from 2.5 years ago, kind of where I was at mentally and about real estate and where I am now. You clearly have more knowledge now and you have some experience under your belt. Kind of tell us a little bit about maybe the differences between the two.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you want me to say? I'm sorry.
take
Um,
it away, man. Yeah.
so definitely you got to be more focused. As I definitely wasn't focused in the beginning. You just have to do it every single day is what I'm really finding out. They say more activity breeds more activity, which brings more people in. And so, yeah, every morning I'm waking up trying to at least dedicate 4 to 6 hours a day, at least Monday through Friday, as much as I can, reaching out to people, and talking every conversation that I have. I try to, you know, kind of bring in the real estate business if it allows it, even outside of work. So.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of like we talked about a lot. Like, the certainly not early on, but really never throughout your career is business gonna come to you, right? And like you have to go out there and pursue it and make sure that you're talking to, friends, family, current and past coworkers and whoever will listen, just like see how you can help them out, right? And I mean, I don't know, and I think people, especially like newer agents, feel like they're gonna like somehow bother somebody by having these conversations. Like, I don't know about you, man. I've been doing this almost 10 years. You've been doing this for almost three. I've never had one person throw water in my face or tell me go get bent because I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a realtor, man. And they pretty much are always like, oh, hey, well, how's the market? What are you doing? How busy are you? And then like you said, you're into that conversation and maybe it leads somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but you're doing the job, right?
Right, right. And that's how I did feel in the beginning is like, contacting people and like, oh, they're just thinking I'm trying to sell them or, like try to get their business. But really, I mean, I want to help them as well. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I was kind of worried about that in the beginning. Not anymore though.
Yeah, man, and it's a natural concern, and I think there are some people who maybe do it the wrong way and aren't just kind of burning through their phone book trying to find someone who's going to sell a house, right?
Yeah.
Versus like really going forward and trying to provide value and provide information. And I mean, a lot of the conversations I have with my clients aren't necessarily about real estate. It's like, oh, hey, man, I saw that you just had a grandkid. How's it going? Oh,
Right.
hey, I saw that, you got a new promotion. That's great. So, and then from there, as people's life circumstances change, they start thinking about, what's the next step for their living situation. And if I can be there to assist with that, great. That's kind of my philosophy is just be a good person, stay in contact, provide value when you can. But if you treat them like, they're ATM, that's how they're gonna feel. So you gotta
Right.
make sure you're providing people with value.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a great point, Andrew. And I think, one thing I learned a long time ago is, we're in the people business. We're not in the house business, and being visible is super critical today, just to show up when people's lives show up, right? They get married, they get divorced, they have babies, all this stuff happens, right? They get job changes, all these things happen. And we want to be able to acknowledge that on those significant events in their lives, but also be able to be a consultant, right? And sometimes it's, really, I think right now this is the best decision. Meaning, hey, I think you should maybe look at a townhome or condo, for the next 2 to 3 years. Or hey, maybe we need to step you into a house or set people up for long term, right? And take care of them from the relationship perspective. Then you probably won't work a day in your life, right? You'll have a constant flow of business as you get over the natural humps, right? So one of those is 3 years and 5 years and 10 years. When you cross that 10 years, it's amazing what happens. And I think a lot of it is you got more street cred, right? You've handled a number of transactions, but a lot of your buyers that you're doing in the first 2.5 years, they're going to start selling and buying, right? So that next time you engage is two transactions, right? It's not just necessarily one, which is huge too. The other thing, David, is you're part of this group that um, came on through the pandemic, right? Then we had the NAR DOJ lawsuit, which the new rules changed last August nationally for us. Maybe talk a little bit about that, right? Because you had the pandemic piece, which was wild. Then we've had where we are now, right? And then you had the NAR change rules that we all kind of went through together. And just kind of give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, coming in on the pandemic was definitely kind of a bum. I was really hoping to get it when it was like the rates were super low, but right when I got my license, the interest rates flipped. So I guess I've started right at the very bottom, and everyone was scared of the market. So that was kind of what could you say? It was kind of a negative thought in my mind, but starting from the bottom now, I'm building all the way up. I can always say like, hey, I started when it was crap, so now I feel a lot better. And you know what? It's gonna keep getting improving, I think. And so yeah, I feel a lot better than from when the pandemic, that's for sure. And then the NAR, I mean, I felt like we were already doing everything that we were supposed to anyways. So, I guess the only thing is when people come to me and ask me like, "Oh, like what's the changes?" I'm like, well, it's pretty much we can negotiate. Well, we're always eligible to negotiate, but now we got to, display it, in front of you or well, explain it better, I guess, right? But yeah, we were doing what we were supposed to do in the first place. So I don't know. It didn't really have much of a change because that's how I was approaching people too when they asked me either way.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Colorado has traditionally for the last, I don't know, 20 or so years done like largely what what the NARD lawsuit has been asking us to do for the last couple years, That said, I do think that it's good overall that the public has maybe a little more insight and kind of goes into the situation knowing that there's a little more negotiation going on, right? Like the fact they've always been able to doesn't excuse the fact that they never did, really, or it happened a lot less often than we thought we did, especially on the buyer's agent side. But yeah, now people know, which they is good. They should have had that knowledge, and shame on us for not implementing it over to them as easily as we could have. But to your point, yeah, like I think we're able to end up in a pretty reasonable spot where we can provide value for our clients. They can, make, save some money maybe, or feel like they're getting a good value out of us, and we can still feed our families, right? So I think, yeah, we'll adjust more in the future as the market adjusts. Who knows? But I think overall it made it maybe a little more clear for the public, which I'm totally fine with. But
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a great point, Andrew. And I know we've talked about it with our team, but my God, for decades, real estate brokerages and realtors spend all this time on all these fancy gimmicks and fancy presentations for the listing, right? Well, the reality of it is that without a buyer, you don't have a listing, right? And then without a buyer, your listing doesn't sell. But it really forced us to create a great presentation, and it forced us to do a number of things around the buy side, which I think is creating more value, more value, more value, and more value, right? And that's where we earn our income. Really we've earned it on the day we went under contract, but we really earn it contract to close, right? Right. It's all those steps all the way to get it to closing, but on a technical basis, too. So, but yeah, it's been great. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of pushback. Obviously in Missouri, where I am today, that was the epicenter, right? Because the actual court case was verdict happened in Kansas City. And so for us here, it's kind of a big spotlight, right? Because it happened in this state. And so there's a lot of eyes on it, up to and including some secret shoppers that are out there too. So, but definitely is good. So enough about work, right? Enough about work. So talk to us a little bit about you've got a passion that you're really good at, you really love, and then maybe after that, what's some other fun stuff that's not work or passion related that you love to do.
Okay. Yeah, so my passion is definitely music, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last time, but I have been building a side business as a mobile DJ in Denver, Colorado. This year I'm really trying to make that as one of my full-time jobs instead of just really part-time, so I can stop the 9 to 5 stuff that I also do. So this would be the main income. Yeah, so I've been building it up for the last 3 years. Finally starting to get leads without having to pay for them, which is nice, like through Instagram and my new webpage that I just posted up. I've gotten a couple through there, which is really nice. So but yeah, I love the music, and it's right now. it's weddings and birthday parties, corporate events, stuff.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's going pretty well for that actually. And yeah, passions that oh wait, what did you say again? What do I like to do for fun? So I guess the gym now. I've been going to the gym a lot. I've lost quite a bit in the last 6 months. So that's been really a big motivation or motivator, I guess. And sooner or later, I'm going to get back into basketball. I used to play basketball constantly after school. So I want to get back into that. Once winter hit, I'm going to get back into snowboarding. I've been doing that for a long time. So yeah, really, that's really all I got.
That's
That's
great.
great.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like, like between, by focusing on your DJ work and your real estate career, it sounds like it's opening up a lot more time and a lot more freedom to do some of the things that you like to do, right? Like, like basketball and skiing sounds like they went, on the back burner just probably by virtue of like, hey man, I got to work these hours, right? It is what it is, right?
Oh,
So I think that's a good example of what our career can offer people is, yeah, man, you're gonna get out what you put into it, but once you put the initial groundwork in and you're kind of continuing to figure out your maintenance level of a marketing, you have more time to go hang out with, to go play basketball, to go to skiing, for me to go hang out with my kid, to, all that good stuff, right? Like that maybe a more traditional career doesn't offer people, which I think is really great.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, at the beginning of this year, I did pretty well, or I am doing pretty well,
Yeah. Mhm.
and that freed up almost all of my debt, which is awesome. So now I don't have to focus on like, oh, I need to pay these monthly bills every month, and
Hmm.
of course paying interest too. So I took care of the ones that had interest, and so yeah, it's definitely freeing up time, and it's something you have to do. Like it's so much easier to wake up and do this instead of, oh, I got to drive an hour and
Yeah.
be behind a grill that I don't want.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And that's the freedom. And Andrew kind of touched on it. The people think about our business is we have an uncapped commission, uncapped earnings, right? It's about us working and getting in flow, as you mentioned, touching your business every day in some way, shape, or form, right? And that's going to be different for everyone, right? It's going to be different how they do it. It's going to be different. Your swagger, if you will be very different. But we have to do what works for each individual agent, right? And we all have strengths, we all have different networks, and we all have different groups. And how do you, again, be invisible to allow you to have the flexibility to do the fun stuff, right?
Right.
Because you can do a lot of fun stuff in this job, right? It's just a matter of balance, right? To kind of take that yo-yo out of it, which we see kind of as a compliment to you. We see you doing a lot of that now, right? So you're part of our lead gen program, right? You're doing open houses. You got your own client base. You're getting some grip now from some of the work you put in 2.5 years ago. So a lot of that will balance out here as you continue to grow this calendar year.
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, I mean that's great, man. So I guess if you kind of think about, we talked a little bit how you like, grown over the last couple of years, and I guess if you wanted to kind of tell the people, like if you wanted to leave them with something, I suppose is a good way of putting it, right? So if you wanted to kind of say, uh, where you're at now, where you see yourself going in the future, what do you want to leave the people with when they think about David for the next until we do another one? So yeah.
Oh man, I'm on the spot. Okay. Yeah, I guess you'll see me, well, I guess in the next to the next video. Man, I don't even know what to say. Just look out for me because I'm coming. I am coming hard this year and continuing from here on out. So, yeah, if you need a DJ, I definitely got you for your parties. If you need a house, I can definitely help you. I got time and dedication for anyone and everyone. So, yeah, I'm coming full force though. So, no more waiting around.
But man, that's great. And
I
I'm seeing
love
it
it.
for sure. We're seeing it every day. So that's great.
I love it. Yeah, we're both very proud of you. So that's amazing. So well, good. Well, Dave, it's always, dude, it's so good talking with you. Your spirit has been so. I've noticed a big transformation, which is awesome. It's very intoxicating. I love it. I know we don't get in the office all the time because we're a hybrid office, but when we are, it's great to see you. I'm excited to see where you go this year. I think you're going to blow your goals out of the water. I know Andrew just speaks very highly of you as all the things you guys are talking about in your coaching and one-on-ones. But yeah, man, seriously, I see big things for you. So our Fun Fact Fridays, I know a lot of you listen to us on podcast. Most of you are on YouTube or social media. We do this with our agents and sometimes with an affiliate, sometimes with a business partner or another person within our industry. We think it's nice to take, 20, 30 minutes or so, just get to know somebody. It's not all business, but at the same time, we are a growing brokerage. So it would be remiss if we didn't, if you were looking for that or looking for new leadership or something different, we are a growing brokerage. And I'm sure David would love to talk to you about how that looks working at Strategic Real Estate and Development Services. But, until next time, David Jaynes, it's so awesome seeing you, man. We're out.
Yes. All right. Bye.